Very cool, Manny. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Thanks. I'm Manny Larcher. I'm the co-founder of Stopwatch Creative. We're a growth marketing and branding company, and we also incubate products. A couple of products that we've incubated is Collaborate and Elevate, which is a platform that we connect people to resources, mentorship, and different opportunities. And also yourinfodaily.com, which is entertainment platform that we're building to really kind of highlight artists and creatives throughout the world.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I like that. Collaborate and elevate, connecting people to opportunities. That's a big deal, right? Because most people don't know what they don't know.
Yep.
We all get television.
Yep.
And luck is opportunity meeting preparation, right?
Absolutely.
Tell me a little bit about your journey and why you do what you do.
I'm a first generation American. Both my parents are from St. Lucia. I lived there for 6 years growing up. You know, looking back at my time in St. Lucia, I really loved living there. And I think as I grew up to be an adult and experienced life, I was really drawn to entrepreneurship. And, for me, a lot of entrepreneurs, start companies because they didn't want to work for someone anymore or anything like that. I think for me it was definitely the opposite. There was a lack of opportunities out there, so I was more so drawn into entrepreneurship and to learn different skill sets, like web development and design, and just continuously reading. I think just natural curiosity and just wanting to travel and see the world more, and just always feeling that I could do more than just this one thing from 9 to 6 every day. So that's kind of what I'm drawn into. And then I think just living in Columbus, Ohio. We're living in the Midwest. We're mainly known for the Buckeyes or the farms that are here. So I think there's a lot of talent that is underappreciated. We see it in different industries. For example, the #1 rock selling album the last decade, or rock selling group, is from Columbus, Ohio, 21 Pilots.
Yeah.
So, I think there's just a lot that I'm personally drawn into doing, and I'm someone that, I enjoy creating things and working with people. I like helping people, and I like seeing things grow, kind of like a tree. From a seed to fruit and bearing fruit. So, that's really what kind of drives me and keeps me going.
I like that. They say necessity is the mother of all innovation. So you having a need because there wasn't opportunity, you went out and created opportunity, which is great because now you've got the experience on what it took to start a company, build a company, and I think you've even been involved in people leaving a legacy, right? Starting, building, and leaving, selling off their business. So you've got quite a background and experience because of that necessity, and you bring that value. And what I've seen with Collaborate and Elevate and Stopwatch Creative and some of your other ventures. Tell me, Manny, has there ever been a moment, hindsight's 2020, right? We got a new decade coming up. Has there ever been a moment where you wish you wouldn't have done something or you would have known better?
Yeah. Looking at the last decade, and you really great at narrating what I'm saying. Wow, I feel like
I'm just listening to you, brother.
Professionally for this. I think definitely there are many things that I probably would have done differently. I think just having patience, on all these things. I think entrepreneurship is tough. You have to have grit. You have to be willing to learn and coachable. So I just look at a younger version of myself, and I think about how probably uncoachable I was at the time, or, but again, it's you live and you learn, and, I think you can't beat yourself up for any mistakes that you've done in the past, or, and you just got to make the most of today and tomorrow. So, I think we all make mistakes, but most of my mistakes maybe were just coming from a lack of patience. So I try to look at things from a legacy perspective, and think long term.
That's a good mindset. See, most people aren't patient, and that's why entrepreneurs fail so often. they don't allow time for their efforts to compound. We all want to fast forward or shortcut experience, but the unfortunate part about that is experience is what makes us, right?
Yeah.
We learn by doing. You being what you are, which is an advocate and advisor for other business owners, can bring that experience to them. So even though you had to experience that hindsight of I wish I would have been more patient, it's created what you are today, which is a professional that helps drive growth and opportunity. You created something from a seed. And I think people need that. In order for us to perpetuate the entrepreneurial cycle and create new businesses that can rise to the future, we have to give them that opportunity. And we have to teach them to be patient. So Manny, I appreciate that you're involved in that. That is a tenacity that most people don't have the patience to do. It's holding somebody's hand from hatching an idea, building an idea, and waiting for that idea to bring them some fruit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We all need to get paid because we got mortgages and we've got car payments, right?
Yeah.
So having to navigate that can be frustrating. How do you, Manny, take your experience and your knowledge knowing that you need to be patient, and how do you communicate that to your clients?
In many ways, I'm more like high touch with clients and really laying out things, that we're working on. With having a marketing agency, we're allowed to be creative. It's not open heart surgery. A mistake won't kill someone in most cases. So
knock on wood.
So I just having an open line of communication with the clients that we're working on, and being we try to stay current of trends and current of tactics that are working, and again we like to also, when we see opportunities, create platforms that will help our client base. So for us, I see a large ecosystem, and with clients I enjoy sending weekly reports, right? Because they need to see analytics and data behind the activity that you're doing, especially if their revenue is going up. I think that's probably one of the hardest things in marketing, to be able to pinpoint what channel gave you that online sale, whether it was social media or a print ad or a commercial or a YouTube video. So really being able to kind of look at the data, whether it's Google Ads that you have installed, which in most cases that's what we're looking at, and we're looking at the source and the channel that it came from, communicating that to a client on a weekly basis. That's only going to make them feel more comfortable, and really only going to keep them with you on a long term. So those things, and it also from our perspective, it lets us know if we're actually delivering value, right? So I look at client communication, it's a two-way street. If the longer you want to keep a client, the better you should communicate. So.
I like that. You're in it for the long run. You're looking for at least a generational or even multi-generational relationship.
Yeah.
And something that you touched on there was high touch client. I think we're all kidding ourselves if we don't realize that technology's made things more transparent and easily accessible. And if we don't rise to the occasion and bring a more proactive relationship, then we're not really doing our justice as advisors, right?
Yeah.
It takes enough grit as it is to get out there and start a business. And it hurts when people tell you things that you could have done or should have done when they should have been with you step for step,
Yep.
right? So you're taking those experiences, you're giving them that high touch and showing them where they're at now, and you're giving them context against where they want to go. Mm-hmm. And I think that's powerful, because people need to remember that there's a trajectory they're after. And seeing at least a little bit of win, celebrating the wins, the little wins, that's important. And if you're not winning, finding out why is even more important. You don't want to get to the end of the year and be like, well, that was fun. I like practicing.
Yeah. No, you hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
So,
Manny, what is one piece of advice that you could give a business owner on how to communicate better with somebody like you, somebody that's their advisor, mm-hmm. in a proactive relationship as opposed to reaction?
Got it. Well, I would offer ideas, and I would, I guess I would keep that conversation going, and I'll probably over communicate. Offer ideas. You don't want to bother anyone too much, but I think a lot of times what I see with someone is, or just in general, you know, just looking at the landscape, is just not having too authentic kind of connections, or maybe always, you know, having like a give and take like type of thing. So, you know, I mean, for me, you know, we all have busy lives, so it's always good to kind of be direct, I think, with people, and come from a place of, you know, just honesty and gratitude. And yeah, I mean, I think that's just life in general. You're gonna get more, you're gonna get more of what you want, or, you know, by just being kind of direct with people. Kind of the point you said earlier with the internet. The internet will be direct with you, and, you know, if anything, you need to be, you know, I think just in interactions, you better be better than interaction on the internet.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Sometimes the internet can be like the bathroom wall, but
yeah,
you know, I think for the context of what you're talking about, you know, being proactive in your communication, but being trusting in that is one thing. But you said one of the best things you can do is to give ideas, and I really like that. I think that's powerful, because business owners a lot of times get stuck in their own perspective. And unfortunately, it's hard to solve a problem from the same perspective as you were in when you created it, right? So having somebody else give you ideas creates a new perspective, and there's that hindsight 2020. What could you have seen differently or done differently?
Exactly. So I think there's a tunnel vision of success and limitations depending on where you're at. So, you know, that's why you need to grow your team, and you need to, you know, help more people, you know, or I think there are certain limitations that, you know, a freelancer or something like that you could have. So, but that's a whole different, you know, tangent. But
I like that. A rising tide rises all ships.
Yeah, yeah.
It's all right.
Well, thank you.
Manny, thanks for coming out. I appreciate you.
I appreciate it. Anytime.